Hello, I want to give you a little bit more background on my study on how reinforcement learning and chain of thought can improve random numbers generated by LLM. I'm interested in this area because I work in finance and random numbers are very important to, for example, try to model assets, financial assets, how they will behave in the future. If, for example, we want to construct some scenarios for saving for retirement or saving for college. So random numbers can be very useful in this type of work. This area of random numbers and LLMs was definitely studied before, but what I think is unique here, I compare traditional model like DeepSeek v3, which is a base for the DeepSeek R1, which is chain with reinforcement learning, and see if we can see differences between random numbers quality coming from these models that are related, but they have different training approach. So specifically, I ask both these LLMs with different setup for temperature to flip a coin 10 times, and I do it 100 times. In general, the distribution of number of heads in 10 tosses should follow binomial distribution. So I start with DeepSeek v3, and we could see that there is a tendency to report 5 heads and 5 tails in 10 flip sequences. That is unrealistic compared to the blue binomial distributions. There is too many 5 to 5 results. Then I ask the same thing for DeepSeek R1, and we see that there is still tendency for more for equal number of head and tails, but already it's lower than for the base DeepSeek v3. So we could see that with reinforcement learning, these results become more realistic. The second thing that I look at specific sequences related by these models, and what I notice is that they have an unusual number of repeats. So basically, not only very often they have 5 heads and 5 tails, that very often have actually the same sequences repeated number of times. Like here, for example, DeepSeek v3 has 2 sequences that happen 6 times in 100 random tosses. Now, if I go to this is I show details in a paper, but this is absolutely unrealistic. It cannot happen in any statistical distribution. I show Monte Carlo simulation, and then when we go to, for example, here we could see the results of DeepSeek R1. The number of the repeats is much lower, so it becomes more realistic. I still show that this is with the best setup for DeepSeek R1, which is with the temperature of 1.5 to generate random numbers. It's still very low probability to see so many repeats here, but the highest number of repeats is 3, which is much smaller than double 6 that we just saw for DeepSeek v1. I also compare how the chain of thought is working by comparing the first toss given by the model to the last toss also given by the model, and I can see the chain of thought definitely improves the quality of random numbers generated by LLMs. Thank you for your attention.